Dallas has made that leap to be that type of defense.
It's become much more of a spread it around type offense. From a fantasy perspective, it's made it a little bit more difficult to project for guys like Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
Maybe the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Let's talk about the Cowboys offense, though. It does look a lot different than I think we did anticipate. And I'll kind of sort of throw this in there too. Man, it's become much more of a spread it around type offense. You know, you could kind of sort of, I think coming into the season, I kind of envisioned it to be more of a funnel offense.
Yes.
And I just don't think it's been that way. And I think Dak Prescott is playing out of his mind right now. But from a fantasy perspective, it's made it a little bit more difficult to project for guys like Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
Here was what we thought the Dallas offense would be, at least based on every ranking and ADP and like consensus in the fantasy industry. This is what everybody thought the Dallas offense would be. Basically what it was in the early part of 2020, which was a high flying offense that was just throwing to 3 wide receivers and was extremely pass heavy because they were constantly in negative game script because their defense sucked. We saw that in week 1, right? I mean, the defense wasn't that bad in week 1, but we saw that in week 1, at least the pass heavy game script. But since then, like, none of that is true. Like you said, we've got Dalton, Schultz, Blake Jarwin, Tony Pollard and Zeke mix in as pass catchers as well.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb has 3 and I think 5 targets over his last 2 games. Overall, Dallas right now, because their defense looks not just better, but it looks like the perfect type of unit. Like, in my opinion, what you need from a modern NFL defense, nobody's like stopping, guys like the old Steelers defenses or the freaking 85 Bears, or even, like the Ravens. Of the early, yeah, right. Exactly. Nobody does that anymore in the modern NFL. What you need it's not possible. What you need is an efficient offense on one side. And then all you want on defense is guys that are just going to, excuse my language, fuck shit up every now and again. And that's what the Cowboys have. They don't even have DeMarcus Lawrence, but they're rushing the passer pretty well. Trevon Diggs looks like he's made the leap. He gets the damn interception every game, so the leap from
Trevon Diggs, golly, he's got to be in contention for most improved player. It's just like he showed flashes last year, but dude, he is an absolute stud right now.
Dallas has made that leap to be that type of defense. Again, in week 1, they did turn over Tom Brady twice. They picked him off twice. So that's definitely,
they won the turnover battle.
They won the turnover battle. Like that's their hardest competition so far. But they sacked Sam Darnold 5 times on Sunday. They picked him off twice. And credit to Sam Darnold, he didn't immediately wilt back into New York Jets Sam Darnold, but still, that was an offense that had been pretty much rolling, and the Dallas defense had a good run against. And I mean, it's just, look, we have a lot of problems. Like Dan Quinn, credit to Dan Quinn, he's not just running the same old Seahawks stuff. They're mixing it up a little bit. They're not just doing the same old Legion of Boom thing, which I think at this point is kind of extinct.
Hey, listen, we really appreciate you guys watching this video. We really do. But if I could, I just want to take a little bit of time to talk about our great sponsor, OddsJam. Developed by Stanford engineers, OddsJam can identify odds that make you a winner every single time. Now you're asking yourself, okay, now how do they do this?
OddsJam uses real-time data to spot discrepancies between different sports books to help users place risk-free bets.
It's called arbitrage. Here's an example.
Last week, the run line in a Rangers game was 2.5. If you bet the over and the under at different sites that have different odds, it doesn't matter what the results are.
If you place the right mathematical bet, you make money. But it's not just arbitrage. If you want to shop for the best odds, OddsJam can do that too. For example,
let's say you like the Packers money line. OddsJam will help you find the best odds for the most profitable returns. OddsJam has all the tools and calculators to help you make some of the best bets possible. Go check them out at oddsjam.com. Overall, I think the defense making that leap is a huge factor in this as well. Dallas ranks 5th right now in run play percentage. They're running the ball well. Zeke might not be Tony Pollard, right? Like he's not going to get those long explosive plays, but who gets like 5 yards out of a 3-yard run better than Zeke Elliott? Like Zeke still does that. And they're like, when they're winning the game, when they're in the positive game script, like they're just going to pound that ball. And, Dak is, I think, averaging at like 25 attempts per game. He's been awesome. He's been super efficient, but that volume is not there for guys like Cooper and Lamb. And oh, by the way, James, Michael Gallup's coming back soon.
I don't have any shares of CeeDee Lamb. Because I thought he was priced at his absolute maximum. Everything had to go exactly according to script for him to achieve top 10 wide receiver value, which is where he was going. He was being drafted as like a top 10 or 11 wide receiver. And I had no shares of him because I'm always the guy that's like trying to chase a little bit of better price, right?
Yeah.
There might be some dudes out there that I'm just like, I'll just pay, like Diggs or like Tyreek Hill. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. I'll even overpay for those dudes, right? But like CeeDee Lamb is somebody where it's just kind of like, I'm just not that sure, But I tell you what, I certainly did not project this team to be the way it is being run right now. But Dak Prescott, like I said, he's doing an awesome job because, dude, he's reading coverages and he's throwing to the open man. And right now, defenses feel like they're going to funnel targets to CeeDee and Amari, and they're not doing that. That's why guys like Dalton, Schultz, Blake Jarwin, Pollard out of the backfield, like, these guys are open, and he's hitting them. And that's great NFL football, but it just kind of sort of stinks for fantasy managers who may have, like, invested, draft capital into CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper. I guess the question from a fantasy perspective, Matt, is, like, does CeeDee get back on track? Does Amari, now that Gallup's coming back, we're expecting him to see some shot plays too. Does Amari value fall a little bit too?
Yeah, so right now, CeeDee Lamb has a 24% target share. Amari Cooper has a 21% target share. You would have thought those would be higher, with Michael Gallup being out. But Dalton Schultz at 17%. Blake Jarwin's almost 10%. Cedric Wilson obviously is right around that 8%. Michael Gallup's going to get more than 8% of the targets when he gets back, as you mentioned. Right. The good news for Amari Cooper is twofold. One, he has been playing more of the slot snaps than CeeDee Lamb has. He actually has 70 snaps in the slot. CeeDee Lamb has 51, and Amari Cooper has also been the biggest red zone target. 6 red zone targets, 4 end zone targets. Those are the team highs right now. I mean, Cooper I have at wide receiver 18 in the rest of season rankings, but I think CeeDee Lamb's a guy I got to bring down a little bit to maybe 14, 15, something like that. Got to look at who's behind him, but I think these guys are going to be really good wide receiver 2s, but playing in an offense like this, they're going to give you big weeks, right? Like they're going to give you
spike weeks,
some weeks, right? Because that's Dallas is going to get into some games where they really got to trade points with teams. I got to look at their schedule and see when those will come. But also, by the way, James, like we're going to talk strength of schedule a little bit. They have the second hardest strength of the schedule in terms of pass defense efficiency. So maybe Dallas will just continue to be a run first offense. And hey, as long as it's working, as long as they're in positive game scripts because your defense has played well, I don't really see a reason for them to change.